Just landed on it.
Okay, so we're just pretending that we've just landed and moved our glider to this nice comfortable spot to pack it away, and we've got a harness there, and Al's now going to show us how we go about putting it away nice and tidy so that none of the, what's that called, rods? Nitinol rods get knackered while you're packing it away, and that's really what we're trying to do. Okay, let's go for it, Al.
So first thing you want to do, and obviously when you land, you make sure your lines are all nice and straight off your risers.
Okay.
So all you want to do is when you run your lines up all the way, to try and keep them as straight as possible. So you got
all the way up. Yeah, it's got lines on it, Alan, for when you fold it, a little folding mark and stuff, so it tells you when to fold the very end part. So we'll get to that later.
Lay it out nice and neat, just like you'd normally do, and then you simply go back to where you got all your lines up, and you simply drop it onto your bag. So this is where the important bit comes. The Nitinol rods all need to be together. If you start from the middle and just try and keep it all flat, laid out flat like that. So you don't need to be perfect, so like that will be fine. And then you get your rods all next to each other, and as you go through, pull it up, hold them together, give it a little flap. It makes life so much easier.
So this first part we're looking really after the Nitinol rods and making sure they all go flat to support each other. And I think that's a fairly obvious place to start.
So once you've got them all in, like that, make sure they're all nicely aligned. And it's like new. Didn't take long to do, quite easy to do. And then make sure your bag's the right length, just over the top. Then you want to go down, just pull in, and go down a few, and pull it in here.
So is that the first?
No, it's not the first. You don't want to be doing the first, because if you do the first is here. You want to go down to your second. Down your second, so it keeps the end open to let the air out. So you do it there like that, and then this is an important piece. Is here you can see how the Nitinol rods are bent round.
Yep.
You get them there and there. Just get your hands under, and pull it round. Now all your rods are at the back.
Okay.
They're all nice and neat stacked at the back. So the next part we do at the other end, so you literally just pull your glider, get your lines all on. They can be up where they are. They start roughly in the middle, it doesn't matter, and you want to just pull them up like that. And as you're doing it, pull these in at the back. You just pull them up from the bottom so they don't crisscross. If you pull them on each line anchor point, you get them, if they're wide, you go in between, pull them up. Just so you can see it goes straight to the top.
Oh, a butterfly there, just having a look, see what it's going to do with its wings when it has a sleep tonight.
Nicely in. Now you can see they're all nicely folded now.
Yep, I can see they're all
there. After we've done the other side, you're about to fill all the Nitinol rods at the back. The same again.
So whereabouts do the Nitinol rods finish at the back?
They are back here.
Okay.
So they are, you got a foot.
Oh yeah, okay, about a foot.
The end of the rods.
30
With
centimetres.
doing this, then you don't have to do trailing it. You can always, as you go up, move in a bit, make it a bit easier, and just pull them in. And then you'll find them tucked down a little bit like that. And you literally, once you've actually pulled them up, it doesn't matter how neat it looks because they've already been pulled to the surface. So all the Nitinol rods have dropped to the back. And then once you're in, keep your lines in there, then you'll get one down here and you'll do the other ones in between afterwards. So you'll literally just pull that across like that, in like that. So you've got both ends in, pull in nice and neat.
So both ends work towards the middle.
You close that one first, closes it and makes it a lot harder to close it up. So your last one's like that. This one's obviously goes down, it's got one knot at the end, and there's no Nitinol at the end. Now, you'll see if you roll it onto the side and you press it, all your Nitinol nods are now here at the back, but all along the back edge. There's nothing on the front, and that all sits flat. Look.
Now the thing is, Al, they've got this bag here, look,
So it folds, yeah?
and it wants to fold, and it'll want to fold this way,
Yeah.
and the glider's not.
Yeah, so
So you'd
all
have to
you
put
do
it if you wanted to.
Yeah,
I'll keep it like that for now,
you can
though.
do that. You can just do that.
Okay, we
How
can
you
just
do
turn
that?
it sideways, yeah.
Turn it sideways.
Because some people like to do push them in.
Once you back, once it's like that, you can actually do it, but you'll find it easier to fold it afterwards like that, because that's all flat now,
Yeah, okay.
and then that will fold.
Right,
But
cool.
as a genuine Concertina, you do it the other way,
Yep.
because otherwise you can't. But all your rods now, you can see all your rods are here at the back,
Yeah.
and they're all in line, they're all there, look.
Cool.
So once you've got like that, your lines, I always hold your lines out until they're tight. Your lines are tight, then over there, and your harness as close to your glider as possible, and this will make it nice and easy on windy days on the hill. So you see, because I made them straight earlier, they're nice and straight, so just do a loop, and then depends where they lie, you can do that, and you get your loops like that. Tuck them in down one side. Not important, too much important how they are, but once they're in, they're in. They will not get tangled. They just don't. Do the same again. Because you keep them in straight.
So this is going to mean once you open your bag out on the hill, you just
We'll show you that in a minute.
pull it out.
When they're like that, you've got a nice loop. Try not to skew them in the inside of each other. Keep that like that open, and then just put it down the outside of the glider. So it's not on the inside where the lines are. That's down there, and that's your lines nicely away. And if you're like me, I fold my glider around my harness.
Yeah, well, this is an important thing, I think. Obviously, with this compression bag, they're expecting you to fold it this way, and then in the compression bag. But obviously, me personally, I don't really think that much of that. So one good way of doing it. But if you show us how you do it, that would be great.
So this is how I do my boomerang, which I've got a lot of plastic. My harness, unlike your harness, folds flat.
Yeah, no, mine don't fall flat.
So I go like that, but it will fold so far, and I put that there.
Okay.
And then these go inside here, out the way, and then because my harness folds a lot flatter, it goes around like that. To go in my bag that way, and then I'll put my helmet in there.
Okay, well that's great. So I'm thinking, just open it back out for me a bit.
Okay.
So what I'm thinking is, I might move it there, put this in that way, and then bring the top around.
And then you've got the nice shallow bends,
Yeah.
especially with the important bits.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Glider.
There's no right or wrong way to put it in the bag. All the main thing we're worried about is getting these battens on all these Nitinol rods all to one side so they're all in line and all straight. You don't want them twisting around each other. Nitinol does tend to stay straight. The problem you might have is if you start putting a load on them and it'll start rubbing on the fabric when you're carrying it.
That's great. Can you just show us that pulling the lines out once you got on top of the hill again there?
So you get to the hill, obviously you get out your bag, put that out like that. You get your lines, put to each side, and then you do it one of two ways. I normally just put my harness down like that, grab the glider, walk up the hill. No tangles.
Great. What do you think, Chris? Any questions?
If you leave your glider attached.
Yep. Okay, so what you're saying is with a reversible harness you want to pack it up to the small package, but you're going to have the lines coming out of the middle.
Yeah, it's just where you bring the lines out.
Yeah, okay.
I reckon this is for an emergency sandwich when you've landed.
Or a banana.
Put it in there, you've got it ready.
Yeah. It's the only thing, I mean, it's great, what you've done is great, and I'm just concerned about this stuff bag thing where it tightens, it does very tight, and I'm not quite as happy with that. But
have a look and see
no, they're fine, but if I was putting it in the compression bag, personally, I'd kind of open the compression bag when I left it at night and stuff. I wonder how to get the brake handles off.
I'm thinking, well, that press stud's really hard, but it won't come off. I thought I can't work it out. Well, the magnet takes it in.
Yeah, but you have to do it, you can push it straight in. Go straight in from the top. It locks in, it's like a latch.
Yeah.
Well, if you try, there's no instructions about to get that out.
No, there isn't. They kind of assume that you know, don't they? Whoa. Well, thanks very much, Al. Thanks, Chris.
Peter.
Well, thanks, Peter. We've all had a good lesson from Al, and hopefully we'll all be able to do a better job than what I've been doing in the past. Thanks, Al.